नमस्ते, मेरा नाम है वैद्य प्रेरणा सिंगल और मैं एमडी पंचकर्मा हूँ। आई रन माई ओन पंचकर्मा सेंटर और मैं आपको स्वस्थावृत्ता पढ़ाने वाली हूँ। बिफोर वी स्टार्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग द सब्जेक्ट, मेरे 2 एम्स रहेंगे आपको पढ़ाने के। नंबर 1, आपको ये सब्जेक्ट पढ़ना कैसे है, कितना पढ़ना है और आपने अपने एग्ज़ाम्स में उन क्वेश्चंस को आंसर कैसे करना है, आपके आंसर शीट का प्रेजेंटेशन क्या होना चाहिए, ये मैं आपको बताऊँगी। दूसरी चीज़, आपने ये सब्जेक्ट को समझना कैसे है फ्रॉम अ पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, क्योंकि आपके फ्यूचर में जितने भी क्लिनिकल सब्जेक्ट्स आएंगे ये सब्जेक्ट उसका बेस रहेगा। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट। आपका सिलेबस समझने के लिए आपका स्वस्थावृत्ता का पेपर इज डिवाइडेड इन पेपर 1 एंड पेपर 2, जिसमें से पेपर 1 के 10 सब्जेक्ट्स हैं एंड पेपर 1 के 10 चैप्टर्स हैं एंड पेपर 2 के 15 चैप्टर्स हैं। इसमें से जो फर्स्ट चैप्टर है दैट इज स्वास्थ्य एंड स्वास्थ्य। सो इन फ्रॉम दिस चैप्टर आपने ये समझना है कि आपको 2 मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चंस आपको आएंगे ही आएंगे। व्हाट इज अ मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चन? आपको एक क्वेश्चन के 4 ऑप्शंस दिए जाएंगे, उसमें से आपने एक चूज करना है। तो इस चैप्टर में से आपको 1 या 2 मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चंस आएंगे ही आएंगे एंड ऑल द टॉपिक्स आर अ मस्ट नो। आप कोई भी ऐसा टॉपिक इस चैप्टर के अंदर मिस आउट नहीं कर सकते हो। सेकेंड पॉइंट, आपको एक क्वेश्चन आएगा which will be a short answer question of 5 marks और these topics are also must to know। इसका मतलब है आप कोई भी टॉपिक इस चैप्टर में से मिस आउट नहीं कर सकते, बट बी रेस्ट अश्योर्ड कि आपके सिलेबस के ब्लूप्रिंट के हिसाब से आपको कोई भी क्वेश्चन इन लॉन्ग फॉर्म इस चैप्टर से नहीं आएगा। सो आपने इस चैप्टर की तैयारी ऐसे करनी है कि आपको अबाउट 6 to 7 मार्क्स यू आर श्योर टू गेट। Okay, so starting off with the chapter understanding, this chapter consists of 8 points and we'll start learning them one after the other. So first, the first point under this chapter is the definition of swastha. What exactly is swastha? सो अगर मैं आपको बताऊं कि इन टुडेज लाइफ अगर आपको स्वस्थता समझना हो, हेल्थ समझना हो, तो आप यूजुअली करते क्या हो? आपको बेसिक टेस्ट लिखोगे, सीबीसी लिखोगे, यूरिन रूटीन लिखोगे, एलएफटी, आरएफटी, ये बेसिक टेस्ट लिखोगे। जब इसके रिजल्ट्स आते हैं तो आपको समझ में आता है कि अच्छा ठीक है, क्या पैरामीटर्स हैं, कहाँ कहाँ प्रॉब्लम हो रही है। दैट्स हाउ यू डिसाइड कि वेदर दिस पर्सन इज एन अपेरेंटली हेल्दी कंडीशन और नॉट, राइट? So in those days, what our sages have taught us is a very different concept, जिसमें से the first point उनको जो चाहिए था to understand what exactly is health is sama dosha. What exactly is sama dosha? जैसे आप सब जानते हैं शरीर में 3 दोषास होते हैं, इनका इक्वली बैलेंस स्टेट में रहना बहुत ज़रूरी होता है। So that's why the word sama dosha. Second चीज़ sama agni. Why do you need a status of sama agni? Because जब तक आपकी शरीर की अग्नि ठीक से फंक्शन नहीं करेगी, आपके बाय प्रोडक्ट्स और आपके जो मलाज होते हैं वो ठीक से नहीं फॉर्म होंगे, जिससे बॉडी में टॉक्सिसिटी होनी स्टार्ट होएगी। सो दैट्स व्हाई यू नीड समा अग्नि एंड देन यू नीड समा धातु। जब तक अग्नि आपके नेक्स्ट टिश्यूज को नरिश नहीं करेगी, तब तक आपके टिश्यूज बैलेंस नहीं रहेंगे, उनमें कोई ना कोई पैथोलॉजिकल प्रॉब्लम्स आती रहेंगी। दैट्स व्हाई इन द बॉडी टू बी हेल्दी you need sama dhatus. That means all the 7 dhatus from rasa to shukra need to be functioning properly. And the fourth point is mala kriya. जब ये सारे functions अच्छे से चल रहे होते हैं, that is when you're able to urinate, you're able to pass motions and your body sweats. These are the ways your body excretes waste products from it. जब आपके ये सारे पैरामीटर्स मीट होते हैं, तब आप कह सकते हो that a person is said to be swastha. But according to Ayurveda, there is a little twerk. They say that until and unless आपका प्रसन्न आत्मा, प्रसन्न इंद्रिय एंड प्रसन्न मनस ये 3 फैक्टर्स अगर कॉम्बिनेशन में नहीं आएंगे, अ पर्सन इज नॉट सेड टू बी स्वस्था। और जब आप ये 7 पॉइंट्स समझ जाओगे, आप खुद ही श्लोका फॉर्म कर लोगे। समादोषा समा अग्नि समा धातु मलक्रिया प्रसन्न आत्म इंद्रिय मनः स्वस्थ इति अभिधीयते। सो अ पर्सन हैविंग ऑल ऑफ दिस इन द नॉर्मल कंडीशन इज सेड टू बी स्वस्था। इस चैप्टर में से आपने 3 श्लोकास को बाय हार्ट करना है। आई नो आप में से कई ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स हैं जिनको श्लोकास बाय हार्ट करना बिल्कुल नहीं आता और जो करना भी नहीं चाहते हैं, और कई स्टूडेंट्स ऐसे होंगे जिनको श्लोकास बाय हार्ट करने अच्छे लगते हों। फॉर बोथ ऑफ यू लेट मी टेल यू, इस चैप्टर में से आपको अगर 1 शॉर्ट फॉर्म आंसर आएगा, प्लीज बाय हार्ट दिस श्लोका। ज़्यादा मुश्किल नहीं है, सिर्फ ये 7 पॉइंट्स हैं जो मैंने पॉइंट वाइज लिखे हुए हैं और आपने इसको एक श्लोका फॉर्म में डालना है। इट्स वेरी सिंपल। सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट श्लोका जो आपने बाय हार्ट करना है। अगर बाय हार्ट नहीं होता है, एटलीस्ट स्टार्ट राइटिंग पॉइंट वाइज, इससे आपका पेपर ज्यादा अच्छे तरीके से प्रेजेंट होगा। नेक्स्ट वी गो ऑन टू द पॉइंट ऑफ एटिमोलॉजी एंड की टर्म्स। व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज एटिमोलॉजी? आप जब भी अपनी एनाटॉमी की टेक्स्ट बुक्स पढ़ोगे या आपकी पैथोलॉजिकल टेक्स्ट बुक्स पढ़ोगे, they always try to split the word. For example, what is spondylosis? They will tell you and mention it in brackets. The word spondyle means vertebral bones and losis means degeneration. Second example, spondylitis. What is spondyle? It is a vertebral bone and itis is inflammation. जब आप ये दोनों वर्ड्स कंबाइन करोगे, आपको ये समझ आएगा कि प्रॉब्लम शरीर के किस पार्ट में है और कौन सी प्रॉब्लम हो रही है। In the same manner, Sanskrit language will also split the words. Swa will mean self and stha will means established. So one who is established in the self is called as swastha. Second etymology is of the word swasthya, swa and sthya. So health is not merely the absence of disease. It is talking about a state. So swastha is talking about yourself and swasthya is talking about the state. So what exactly does swastha vritta become? Swasthya is health and vritta is a regime. So the branch of Ayurveda dealing with the maintenance of positive health through daily and seasonal regimes is said to be swastha vritta. Okay? जब आप एक एनाटॉमिकल सब्जेक्ट पढ़ोगे, आपको लास्ट में समझाया जाएगा द स्टडी ऑफ बोन्स एंड इट्स स्ट्रक्चर्स इज कॉल्ड एज स्केलेटल सिस्टम। इन द सेम मैनर द ब्रांच ऑफ आयुर्वेदा डीलिंग विद मेंटेनेंस ऑफ हेल्थ थ्रू डेली रेजिम्स इज सेड टू बी स्वस्था वृत्ता। नेक्स्ट, What are the objectives of this subject? इस सब्जेक्ट को हमारे लिए पढ़ना क्यों इतना important है according to Ayurveda? So जब our sages wanted us to understand health and फिर a disease condition, they were very clear about their concepts. So they split the objective into 2. One is the preventive aspect and second is the curative aspect. The preventive aspect is जहाँ पे आप जब born होते हो, obviously majority of the cases आप healthy ही होते हो, you are in apparent healthy condition. I'm not talking about the congenital cases, I'm talking about majority of the population is born healthy. उस health को maintain कैसे करना है is through a dinacharya which is a daily regime. You have ritucharya, a seasonal regime. Sadvritta is your ethical conduct and rasayana rejuvenation. Panchkarma is your rutu shodhana. This is how you are going to prevent the health to be in a healthy condition. And the second objective of this subject is to understand how to cure the diseases. आपको निदान समझना पड़ेगा, चिकित्सा समझनी पड़ेगी from 2 aspects, शोधना and शमना, पथ्य अपथ्य क्या है and सत्व अवजय चिकित्सा in psychosomatic conditions. After you understand that these 2 objectives, आपको इसका श्लोका आप खुद ही बना लोगे। प्रयोजनम च अस्य, what is the word प्रयोजनम mean? It is to use. स्वास्थ्यस्य स्वास्थ्य रक्षणम, which is the preventive aspect. Aturasya vikara prashamanam, which is the curative aspect. And this is the second shloka that you should know. Body समझ लो, श्लोका अपने आप लिख लोगे. The purpose of Ayurveda is to protect the health and to treat the disorders of the diseased. ये दो पॉइंट समझ लिए, श्लोका अपने आप बन चुका है. But Swasthavritta will first emphasize on the prevention aspect, and that's why he says Prayashchitta is more important than Chikitsa. So Swasthavritta is more about preventive medicine, which is a kind of medicine that is booming in today's era, where you have a lot of wellness centers, where you have a lot of naturopathy, wellness, yoga centers. They talk about the preventive aspect. Next, let's go on to the signs of health. How do you understand and how will you say that a person is healthy? So for that, we need to understand 3 points in the human body. One is, what are swasthya lakshanas, what are arogya lakshanas, and what are dhatu samya lakshanas. अभी अगर मेरे पास कोई पेशेंट आए, अगर मुझे उसकी हेल्थ कंडीशन असेस करनी हो, इट इज़ वेरी सिंपल फॉर मी टू अंडरस्टैंड ब्लड प्रोफाइल क्या है, जैसे मैंने पहले एग्जाम्पल लिया था. But if I want to understand beyond parameters, beyond blood parameters, अगर मुझे जानना हो कि इस एक पेशेंट की हेल्थ कंडीशन क्या है, I will be using the 7 parameters. These 7 parameters. It will not only tell me the status of his physical body, it will also tell me the status of his mental body. And this reference is from Sushruta, and this is the gold standard of health assessment in Ayurveda. That's why when you see your doctors in colleges trying to understand patients, they use this methodology. Second is, what are arogya lakshanas? These are signs of absence of disease, but it is a very narrow concept, it is just indicates about the absence of pathology, and this is from Charaka, but this is usually used in निदाना टू अंडरस्टैंड कि निदान है क्या, इसलिए आपको एक बीमारी समझ में आएगी, तो ये उसका प्रोटोकॉल है. एंड थर्ड इज योर धातु साम्य लक्षणास. फॉर मी टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट, मेरे अगर सारे टिश्यूज बॉडी के एप्ट हैं, रसा टू शुक्रा नरिशमेंट अच्छे से हो रही है, आई नो दैट कि मैं धातु परीक्षा करके, प्रकृति असेसमेंट करके मैं इसका स्टेटस मुझे पता लग सकता है. सो this is the presentation to understand what exactly is health. There's a small exam tip. If you are asked what are signs of health and what are its lakshanas in Ayurveda, compare all 3 lakshanas with their sources. As in, one reference is from Sushruta, the other is from Charaka Sutra, and the third one is from Charaka Vimana. Textbooks are saying different things, but their crux is the same. So when you compare all the 3 lakshanas with their sources, draw a comparison table. जब आप answer sheets लिखते हो, instead of writing paragraphs, try to make it presentable. Try to make it diagrammatic or table wise. ये ज़्यादा अच्छा लगता है presentation देखने में. Okay? Next, let's understand what is health according to WHO. What is WHO? It is the World Health Organization, one of the most biggest organizations to study health all over the world. And why do we need to understand the health all over the world? That's coming up in the upcoming slides, so wait till the end. Health according to WHO is not just merely the absence of disease, it is your physical, mental and social well-being. But this was formed in 1948, and you will be surprised and shocked to know that Ayurveda had much more to say about this centuries and centuries ago. Ayurveda did not only concentrate on the physical, mental and social well-being, they also spoke about the spiritual and sensory health. What is sensory and spiritual health? आपने देखा होगा Instagram is booming. Okay, a lot of youngsters going for treks, going for Jyotirlings, going to Makkah, Medina. Why is that happening? Because probably the actual health, that's the sensory health and the spiritual health, is now coming to surface, and people have now started to understand that it's not just merely the absence of disease, it is not just about physical, mental and social, it is also about your inner growth, your spiritual and your sensory growth as well, which is not dealt by WHO. And again, India has one plus point beyond WHO, which they talk about is not merely the absence of disease. So, key takeaway, be happy. Ayurveda's health definition, which is centuries old, is more comprehensive than WHO. It includes the spiritual and the sensory dimensions that WHO misses. Now, I was just checking if it's recording. So let's move on to the next aspect. It's not necessary कि आप जब born होते हो, you will be in the same condition of health until you die. There are a lot of factors to influence health. What you eat, how you sleep, how you train your physical mind, the mental mind, how you train yourself physically, how you train your mind, and what is your regime. All these factors, and especially the seasonal changes, how all of these factors are going to affect your health, plays a very, very big role. If at all you are following all of the rules that are laid down in the text, you are going to be in a condition which is called as asanchita dosha avastha. Or else, if you do not follow any of the regimens mentioned in Ayurveda, you are going to come under the category called sanchita dosha avastha. What does the word sanchita means? इकट्ठा करना, accumulate होना. तो ये दोनों अवस्था आपके लाइफ स्पैन में आते हैं, which is the next point to understand in this chapter, the asanchita doshas and the sanchita doshas. अगर आप सारे regime follow कर रहे हो, your doshas will be in the normal state and you do not need any such treatment, you do not need any such Shodhana therapies. Why? Because आप सब कुछ normal कर रहे हो, and that's why you have normal physiological functions and you need no intervention. You do not even see any symptoms. Whereas in the Sanchita Avastha, doshas start to get accumulated, which means they start coming under Sthana Sanchaya. You do not know this in a day, 2 days, weeks or months maybe. But the doshas are accumulating in the body, and that's why you need Ritu Shodhana. And procedures of and this produces Purva Rupa if not treated. अगर आप इस category में आते हो, and if you're not even doing Ritu Shodhanas, eventually and slowly you will start to see symptoms of Purva Rupa, which when ignored again can finally cause a disease. To take care of this aspect, you have something called as Shodhana in Ayurveda. Trust me, with my experience in practice and the kind of research I do, I can tell you, all over the world, there is nothing as strong as the concept of Shodhana in Ayurveda in any other subject all over the world. Detox is not your fruit ka pani or your cucumber pani or you just fasting the whole day. Detox is not that. Ayurveda gives you a detailed explanation of what exactly is detoxification under the concept called as Shodhana. That's why he says, even in a healthy person, the doshas can naturally accumulate. Why? Because of changing season and because of your habits. If you are doing Ritu Shodhana time and again, you can eliminate these doshas before it can cause any disease. And that's why this is the essence of primary prevention in Ayurveda. And what are the Panchkarmas or the Panchashodhanas? They are Vamana Karma, Virechana Karma, Basti Karma, Nasya Karma, and Raktamokshana Karma. I am a Panchkarma MD, so I do not, I have learned not to include Raktamokshana under this. I split the Bastis into Anuvasana Basti and Niruha Basti. This is what makes up Panchkarma. Now, are you understanding? Can you see this one table can tell you three things. What are the Shodhanas? कौन से ऋतु में होती है and कौन से दोषा को टारगेट करती है. This is the importance of writing your paper in a tabular form. Okay. Next, let's go on to the next next point, which is classifications of Swastha Purusha. Now, the last slide we spoke about what are Sanchitas and Asanchita doshas. Why do you need that? To understand कि आप कोई regime अगर follow नहीं कर रहे हो तो क्या problem हो सकती है और अगर कर रहे हो तो उसके effects क्या हो सकते हैं. This is a slightly different concept which is trying to tell you that your health condition is also of two types. One is the Prakrita Swastha, you are naturally healthy, and second one is your Upachara Yukta Swastha, which means you are maintaining health by effort. What is naturally healthy? Balanced Prakriti, and you're following Swastha Vritta. It is going to keep your parameters in control. Vata Pitta Kapha is going to be in control. There is no external intervention that is needed to maintain health, which is very, very rare in the current era. Because we know that we don't eat properly, we don't eat well, we don't sleep well, we are also following everything that a healthy person should not do according to Ayurveda. So this is, let's leave this concept to our dadis and nanis because we are not fit for this. Second is health by effort. The one who maintains his health through conscious effort by dinacharya, ritucharya, pathya ahara, and by exercising well. So when you make this a part of your daily regime, are you taking efforts to maintain your health? And most people fall in this category, and that's why you need to follow Swastha Vritta principles. And we are the primary targets of this subject. Okay. The next point under this chapter is what are the dimensions of health. What do you understand? What are the dimensions of health? There are the 4 dimensions of health: physical, mental, social, and spiritual. Let's talk about each one after the other. Your physical dimensions are the 7 things that we know: normal BMI and vital signs that we just spoke about in this slide. Mental dimensions are your whether you are really happy, whether you are emotionally strong, you don't study this PPT well in time, and 1 hour or 1 day before the exam, you get all tensed. That is your disbalance in your emotional status, and you stay away from these emotions. The third one is your social dimensions. You want to meet with your friends, you want to sit with your relatives, which is not very good, but theek hai. You want to be with your friends and you want to have social harmony. You fulfill your duties. What are your social duties? Your social duties are towards your teachers, social duties towards the people that you're going to meet in the hospital as Vaidyas. So those are also your social duties. And the last is the spiritual dimension, where we talk about the Atma, where we talk about your own dharma that you follow and the self-realization principles. So these 4 dimensions and versus WHO's 3 dimensions, the physical, mental and social, Ayurveda takes the upper hand. Okay. So next is the concept of well-being. We are coming to an end of this chapter. Well-being is to be understood from 2 criteria. an objective criteria and a subjective criteria. मेरे हिसाब से लाइफ कैसी होनी चाहिए, दैट्स अ डिफरेंट कॉन्सेप्ट. मेरे लिए क्या सही है और क्या गलत है, दैट इज अ डिफरेंट कॉन्सेप्ट. सो एन ऑब्जेक्टिव वेल-बीइंग, these are measurable external indicators, as in your standard of living and your level of living. These are very two different things. Your standard of living is आपको अच्छी पढ़ाई मिल रही है, do you have access to health care, do you live in a good house, are you earning well. These are the points that you will understand once you pass out of BMS, and when you have to start earning, you'll understand what are standards of living and levels of living. Level of living is composite index including life expectancy, your infant mortality and literacy rate. So अगर आपको अच्छा खाना मिल रहा है, if you can earn well, if you are traveling and if you are living in a good house, and all other parameters will tell me about your objective well-being. These are basically quantifiable metrics by the government and WHO. How does the government get to know how well you are doing? When you start paying your taxes, the government will get to know how well you're living. Second is the subjective well-being. मेरे हिसाब से to study, to treat patients, to travel and to do my own self work is more important than sitting with my friends for long hours, than to do something that is not productive. That is my definition of a well-being. What is your definition? If you feel that sitting with your friends for long hours, if you feel that you do not have to attend college, if you feel that ये सारी चीज़ें important नहीं हैं, and that, my friend, is not well-being. Okay, so your subjective well-being is your personal experience, and it is an internal perception of your quality of life. Okay, whether you're satisfied and whether you're happy with your life, do you have a cheerful mind, and do you have a good house, do you have a good car, do you travel by business class. If all of these are your well-being parameters, those are your perspective of a well-being. Okay, this point is not same for everybody. Everybody wants this, which is quantifiable. This can change according to your personal perception about well-being. So Ayurveda's Prasanna Atma Indriya Manas is essentially the subjective well-being assessment. Coming to the last point under this chapter, which is One Health. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. What is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam? One Health. Why are we talking about One Health? Is health on earth only for humans? Do other living beings not matter? One example, जब केदारनाथ में आपदा आई थी, there was a count for how many people had lost their lives. Was there a count about the animals? Was there a count about the aquatic animals? There was no count about these living beings. It was just the human count that was mentioned. Why? And that's why you have this concept, which is the foundational concept in Ayurveda, which talks about One Health. What is One Health? It is an integrated, unifying approach that aims to sustainably balance and optimize the health of humans, animals, and ecosystems. What is an ecosystem? We live in an ecosystem. If the animals are dependent on us, we are also dependent on the ecosystem. We are dependent on the animals. And that's why these three parameters, human life, animal life, and ecosystem, three kinds of different health which need to be integrated, and a unifying approach needs to be taken up to balance and optimize the health. And this recognizes the three domains that are interconnected and interdependent. We are always connected to the nature, we are dependent on the nature. And WHO, FAO, OIE, joint definition, brings up the definition of One Health. And what do our Shastras have to say? So when you open up the Maha Upanishad, you will find this shloka. He says that this is mine, that is a stranger's. Nijaha paro va eti ganana. If you think like this, that this is mine and that is a stranger's, that is a very narrow-minded mentality. Okay, it is a very narrow lagu chetasam. It is a very narrow mentality. For the noble-hearted, the entire world is one family. Udara charitanam tu vasudaiva kutumbakam. And this is the third and the last shloka that you need to know from this chapter. How do you understand these three parameters? Human health is what we've discussed in the previous slides. Animal health comes under the concept of Gaja Ayurveda, where in today's world you have the veterinary science, you have the zoonotic disease prevention, the food safety and the antibiotic stewardship in animals. From the environmental purpose, clean air, clean water, clean soil, climate change adaptation and Bhumi Pariksha. One example of air is the very recent corona virus. Clean water, give me one example of clean water, soil, ecosystems, climate change, Bhumi Pariksha. Get to know what are the examples, mention it in your answer sheets, the answers. Corona virus. These are the things that will fetch you more marks. So this is the concept of One Health. Okay. So these are the three organizations. So these are the three organizations that you need to know by heart. The World Health Organization, the Food and Agricultural Organization, and the World Organization for Animal Health and the UN Environmental Program. These are the four agencies that have come together to understand and to implement One Health all over the world. So when there was COVID, what was happening? The bats were affecting the humans. When there's this influenza in your current surrounding, the poultry will affect the humans. So what practices are we taking up so that this chain can be broken? Rabies are something from the dogs and wild animals to the humans, and antimicrobial resistance. What is this? Overuse of antibiotics and how the human body is gradually developing resistance towards the stronger antibiotics. So this is the concept of One Health and how we need to integrate human health, animal health and the ecosystem health so that there can be harmony in the world. And Ayurveda's unique contributions to One Health are Loka Purusha Samya, Janapadva Vamsa, Ritu Samya and Desha Satmya. These are the three concepts that Ayurveda talks about maintaining the health of the world. These are the key points. Focus on these points, where the references are and what you need to learn. And last, I'm giving you a few practice multiple choice questions. Try to attempt these questions. The answers are there in the PPTs. And this is the last. Like I promised in the beginning of the presentation, I will tell you how to attempt answering the questions. So first of all, you need to understand how many sides of answer sheets you have. So the 5 marks will take up about 2 sides, 1 sheet, 2 sides, the 5 marks, your answer should get over in this much paper, in these many papers, and you are supposed to be taking at least 6 to 8 minutes to complete this question. Okay, so you're definite to get 1 mark if you're mentioning the definition about Swastha Vritta or any definition about Swastha. The next mark you're going to get from the types, the Swastha Lakshanas, Arogya Lakshanas and Dhatu Samya Lakshanas. The third mark you're definite about to get when you list 4 to 5 key features about Ayurvedic terminologies, and the fourth point is connection to modern relevance. When you talk about Swastha from an Ayurvedic aspect and a health from WHO's aspect, you are giving a connection to modern relevance. जो भी question आपको आए, try to first write the introduction, then write the definition, then write your body, and always conclude your 5 marks and 10 marks with conclusion. Just 1 line or 2 line. Thus, Swastha concept is the foundation of Swastha Vritta. अगर आप इतना भी लिख दोगे, the person who is checking your paper will know that you know about the subject. Always make sure that you're writing it in a presentation where the person can see. End with a conclusion, just about 1 to 2 lines. The body, please do not write phrases, let it be pointers. As in, what are Swasthya Lakshanas? Let it be in pointers. Let the definition be crisp. I want you to learn these 3 shlokas. और अगर इस चैप्टर में से आपको कोई भी टॉपिक आए, try to incorporate 1 shloka amongst the 3 shlokas and put it in a nice box. Try to frame it and try to put it in a nice box so that the person who's checking your paper knows that you know about the shlokas. Okay, this is how you attempt a 5 marks question. Always write the shloka first. It will fetch you guaranteed marks. Try to present your paper in diagrams and tables. Thank you. The next chapter will be on Dinacharya. So the key takeaway from this chapter will be Swasthasya Swasthya Rakshanam Aturasya Vikara Prashamanam. Okay, let this go inside your head before we start the next chapter on Dinacharya. Thank you.